Good evening, welcome to the regular city council meeting of February 1st, 2016. We do have a quorum. All individuals are asked to either silence or turn off their cell phone pages or other electronic devices that may disrupt the meeting. Let's please stand and pledge to the flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approve the agenda as posted in accordance with the open meeting law, and hereon place all agenda items on the table for discussion. What's the wish of the council?
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
I got a motion by Alderman Hercock, second by Councilman Lildergan. Approve the agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approval of the minutes. Copy of the minutes for the special work session meeting January 19th, 2016, and the regular meeting of January 19th, 2016 are enclosed. What's the wish of the council?
I'll make a motion to approve. I'll second.
Got a motion by Councilman Hansen, second by Councilman Knopfler. Approval of the minutes. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approval of the bills. Approve checks 93442 through 93506 totaling $2,678,164.34. Mr. Gushik?
Turn to page 1. Give everyone a little time to get there.
Yeah, it's on page 7. It is titled page 1. So, you go to the bill sign page and then scroll down. That's where it'll start.
And we're down. What page did you say that was?
That's page 52 of 113.
Titled page 7. Sorry.
I'm on the page, it says page 1, but you go to 52 to get to page 1.
Yep, page
There you
52
go.
to get to page 1. We'll figure this out.
I'll give you a little extra time tonight. Okay. Now everyone scroll down to page 2.
253.
Oh,
Bingo. Or 8.
Make it simple, we'll call it page 2. Hearing none on page 2, move to page 3. Lot of on debt payments this time around. First of the year stuff, or
February.
page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Now, John, would we be able to highlight certain items on this?
Yep, if you use that highlighter button, you'll be able to highlight text within that document.
Page 7 has all the reports. That's the end of it. I make a motion to approve the checks mentioned by Jeremy, Council President, for $2,678,164.34.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Gushik, second by Alderman Hercock. For approval of the bills. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Awards, donations, presentations. Proclamations, we got a presentation, 2015 Annual Fire Department Report. Chief Neiman?
Thank you, Mr. President, Mayor, members of the council. Are you there? Everybody got it up on their screen?
Looks like you're Mike Neiman, right?
Yep. Again, we made it through another year. We had a good year. We had a couple more calls than we did last year. As you can see, I think we had 119 this year compared to 117 last year. No injuries to speak of in the fire department, which is always a good thing to have that. We had no deaths in our area, so that was a good thing also. We hired 6 firefighters last year, and one had dropped out. He just couldn't keep up with the pace. Actually, he had another job, and it pertained, he just started another job, and it took a lot of his time up, so he couldn't make the meetings and drills and all the stuff that was required to be a fireman. So. They all made it through firefighter 1 and firefighter 2 and the hazmat course. They all made their quota this year with their 6% fire calls. They made their drills, and they put in about 170 hours worth of training. So they had a pretty big year with it. Now they're officially on full time. We did hire one to replace the one that had quit, Dustin Savitz. He's, as we speak, now going through the firefighter 1 class at Staples. So he's about halfway through that right now. So we should complete that in another month and a half. Other than that, as you can see the breakdown in there, City of Little Falls had 72 calls. Belle Prairie Township had 8, Green Prairie 6, Fort Ripley City of had 1, Fort Ripley Township had 10, Little Falls Township had 11, Pike Creek Township 1, and Ripley Township 5, and we had 4 mutual aid calls. Any questions on that? We received our 2015 international truck finally. We got that up and rolling late spring. We finally got it, everything equipped on it the way we wanted it, and it's been working out very, very well for us. Received a few grants. Got a grant for $5,760 from Minnesota Board of Firefighter Training and Education Board, and another one from NJPA, both for training. So we also received a grant last year for $7,681 for a washing machine. We just got that installed here last week, so we'll see how that goes. I think it's going to be a great addition. Other than that, like I said, we appreciate everything you guys do for us. You've always been supportive of the fire department. We've got a very, very good crew. They're very committed. They all did a super job again, and hope it continues on the next few years. So our recruitment is up, our retention is up. So I mean, we're doing all right. It's always it's a good thing to have that. So. Any questions? I know we took on Fort Ripley Township this year. I think they told us they had like 4 calls on the average, but we ended up with 10 this year. We had a few more calls just from the highway, car crashes and excavations and stuff like that. So that's our wire calls or like that. And also on your tablet there, it's a breakdown of all the calls that we had through all the townships and where they're at and all the names. We do send these out to the townships so they're aware of everything. We meet with the township February 17th, I think it is, Lori. And anybody wants to join us down there, you're welcome to. It's at the fire hall again. I know the mayor usually shows up, which is nice, and John and Lori. We go through all their stuff. Make sure they're happy. So.
That's in all the townships
Yes.
meet with you?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, if they have any concerns or anything like that.
Look, you have a contract with Fort Ripley. How long is that contract?
It's a 10-year contract. We were at 5 year, and I think we went to a 10-year. Is that right, Lori?
Yes.
Yeah, we went to a 10-year plan.
That makes sense, especially if we're investing into taking care of that area.
Right.
We keep a lot of.
Yeah, and you know, it fluctuates every year. It goes, we've got a formula that we use to get to their amount, what their share is for their fire protection for that year. So. And it's always good to meet with them. They like to know what's going on, what we're buying, what we're up to, and this and that. So it's a good relationship, and we do have a good relationship with all the townships in the city of Fort Worth. So far, so good.
You don't have to name names, but anybody else knocking on their door?
Yeah, there's a couple. There is. It's still in limbo. We'll see what materializes. But yeah. That being said, you know, for us to do that, we really have to take a hard look at that and see, you know, if it can be feasible for us to take on more area with the construction. We'll look at that as the time comes.
I just have a quick comment. I've had reports from city residents about your willingness to go out sometimes in the middle of the night. I have an employee that said that she had called and it was something stupid and you weren't condescending. You said, oh, that can happen anytime. So, and I've heard a couple other comments about how well residents have been treated. So kudos to you and your staff.
Thank you.
Say, Chief, I just see there's a lot of repeat, I don't know if you want to call them offenders, but a lot of cancel from the same, some of the same vicinity, same addresses or whatever. Is that kind of common? Do we bill them eventually for a bunch of false alarms?
We do. We do have a false alarm policy we put into effect here probably about, I want to say about 4 years ago. Don't quote me on this, but I think after 3 calls per calendar year that we do start charging them.
Okay.
We cut it about half of what we had before. So I know we have a lot of calls from the hospital and some of the things where they were working on the system. They just didn't call in to dispatch and tell them that, you know, put the alarm on test. But we're educating pretty close. And most of them, you know, and we haven't had any this year. We've had a few. We had one where I think it was over there at the Fallbrook with there. We had like 3 in a row there. But after we told them that the next one we're going to charge them easy to take care of the problem. Some of them are new. They move into a new building that has an alarm system or something like that. They're not familiar with the activated. But you know, and that being said too, I mean, we gotta take every call as a serious one.
Right.
We can't, you know, we can't take it as it's going to be another false alarm. So we're rolling and we're going. I hate to say it's kind of like if they can call us off at the end of the month before we get there and say, you know, it's all taken care of. And the ones that we like to have. So.
Yeah.
Pine Grove Manor, we had some issues with.
We did.
But that's
We did.
taken care of now.
Yes, it is, you know, and it took me about a year to convince them that, you know, it wasn't the bugs or whatever, it was a faulty system in that area, so.
That's all good now.
It's all good. We haven't had a call there of a false alarm there in, I'll think years. Yeah, yeah, you remember that. Yeah, it was
Yeah, I
kind of
do.
an ordeal over there. Again, I'd like to thank everybody on the council and President, the Mayor, and city staff too. I mean, city staff has always been helpful for us if we've been helpful in writing these grants and getting the information and everything like that. So it's kind of a team effort on what we do. I know we need a lot of data when we write these things, and we always come up with that. So.
Was it working out with more trains coming through?
You know, we haven't really noticed a lot of that. I mean, it's kind of, I don't know how many more are coming through. I know we have, I don't foresee, I don't get over there a whole lot anymore since I don't live on the west side anymore. But it seems to be working out so far so good. And again, we have 3 trucks on the west side. Actually, we have 4 over there right now. And the guys that live over there respond to that also. we're pretty much covered, so it's working out good. Anybody have anything else?
Anybody? Thank you.
Yep.
Literally no action on it, do we? Just with the presentation? On the consent agenda, application for exempt permit, Morrison County Rodeo Association raffle, September 17th and 18th, 2016, approved. Chaplaincy agreement, Morrison County, approved. Heritage Preservation Commission minutes, January 2016, received. Morrison County Attorney's Prosecution Report, December 2015, received. Pay Equity Implementation Report, January 2016, ratify and confirm. Pay Escrow Agent Agreement, Northland Trust Services, General Obligation, Permanent Improvement Revolving Fund Bonds, Series 2015C, approved. Reviewed financial statements, Friends of Pine Grove Zoo, December 31st, 2015, received. Reviewed financial statements, Senior Citizens Incorporated, December 31st, 2015, received. What's the wish of the council on the consent agenda?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Second.
I got a motion by Councilman Bushik and second by Mayor Zilka to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Public hearings and lighting, comprehensive plan update, hometown planning, or city administrator.
Yes, as I mentioned in the work session and part of our budget planning process for this year, we were going to talk about doing a comprehensive plan update for starting in 2016. And we got a proposal back from Ben Olson, hometown planning, our contract and zoning administrator. He's currently been working on the county's comprehensive plan. He certainly comes highly recommended. He's well versed in our city's knowledge and what we have for zoning. So he gave us a proposal. Last comprehensive plan update was in 2007, so we're actually quite a bit behind. They usually update the plans every 5 years from once they're established to kind of extend those out and then do maybe a major overhaul every 10 years. So we're kind of in that situation where now is a good time to do a pretty extensive look at our comprehensive plan. So if you see from his proposal, he's looking at giving us about a 12 to 15 month timeline from when it starts, and then the cost would be $19,300. So it is the recommendation of staff to approve this proposal as presented. The funds, as we discussed, we could either, if we had to, we could take from our capital planning funds that we had for a document management system, or we have, as recommended, these undesignated funds that we discussed were possibly park funds utilized to buy down or pay off zoo debt. We could take from part of those potentially, since it wasn't a formally budgeted item in 2016.
What's the wish of the council on the comp plan update? Have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Mayor Zilka, second by Councilman Bushik to approve the comp plan update, the hometown planning. Any further discussion?
Why wasn't it put on last year's budget? It seems to be a pretty important item.
I'm not certain why it wasn't in the budgeting plans prior to my arrival, but once I came on board, this was something that I had seen and we discussed from the staff level that we really wanted to consider moving forward with this. And I think in our budgeting planning, it was agreed that in the council level that it was something that we should be looking into. Another item that I believe did come up was in comparing some of our zoning, and we've done a lot of zoning updates recently. We've actually done a lot of ordinance updates. There are some points in the zoning and the comp plan where they don't align very well, so there's a little bit of conflict, and, a comp plan is a good, overarching planning document for people to utilize for future planning, but the ordinances are ultimately going to prevail, so you wouldn't want the situation to be in the comp plans conflicting with what you have currently in ordinances, especially if you've updated the ordinances after you've updated the comp plan. So we want to make sure that those items align too, so, and there's just a lot of other plans and things that we want to look at in moving our city forward in the future and making sure that we're on the right track. So I think this would be a very important asset for us to have in doing those things. So.
Looking at the timeline here, so we're looking at putting it into effect next year, and it would take 12 to 15 months until it's done. Is it something we can just simply budget for next year?
Well, would likely be paying Ben while they're actually doing some of the work. I mean, it's.
Well, the breakdown's in
This
there,
is
$5
gonna
to
be
initiate and so many thousand at a certain point, each breaking point, so.
Yeah, we wouldn't have to pay everything up.
Well, it doesn't spell out where it's at. So it looks like $5,000 to get rolling, and then, I mean, is it
Right.
something that,
Well, it's 1st of February, so if you're looking 12 to 15 months, you're gonna be probably into your third chunk to get your public input before you're gonna start updating comp plans, so that's all gonna come pretty quick to.
Right. If I may, Mr. President, the bulk of it's going to be in the public input, and that's going to be closer to the beginning of the comprehensive plan, because you want to get input on how to address that in your comp plan update. So, the report, that's probably going to be later on in the time frame, so probably December, January of 2017 is what you're looking at. But the bulk of it with the public input is going to be right up front.
And this, I should mention, is outside of what we contracted for with the zoning administration. So this is not part of this zoning administration agreement that we currently have with them. And I do want to mention too that we have another opportunity because I forgot to introduce, but Nick Newman is our city's intern for the spring semester, and he's a urban planning major at St. Cloud State this semester. So he's a very valuable resource for us too to have helping out with Ben and doing this proposal as well. His internship is actually covered through our agreement with the National Joint Powers Association, so they're actually paying him an hourly wage and a stipend for travel to be situated here. We're just providing a place and opportunity for him. So I think it's a great benefit to have him. We're really excited to have him on staff, and since he's here for this semester too, it would be really useful to have him helping out with this project.
Any other discussion? Do we need roll call on letting, or? No. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Park Rec and Tree Board recommendations, sale property proceeds, zoo fund, table to reconsider direction.
Yep, so as we discussed at the last meeting, we wanted further information about what the totals were regarding the recommendation from the park board for the sale of those lots. The totals are actually $49,551, and it was in doing some research and excuse me, from the discussions that we had with the park board, there was talk that the proceeds of that were going to be used to pay down debt for the zoo improvement fund. So as we in the fall talked about the budget discussions and utilizing those funds for comp plan or city website updates in 2016 because they weren't on capital improvement plans as a budgeted item. We just wanted to make sure that the council could have all the information available to them, and that we were doing our best to kind of meet the needs. Our research showed that the council didn't make any formal decision on the use of those funds. So the park board made that as a formal recommendation for December, so that this is why it's back in there now, so.
So what's the wish of the council with the money purchased or money from the sale of the properties? Anybody have a recommendation where they make a motion to disperse it?
What if we split it a third to each of the things we talked about? A third to the zoo debt, a third to the comprehensive plan, and a third to our website. Wouldn't totally cover the website or the comprehensive plan, but it would be close with both of them.
I'm in favor of that. It just seems to me, instead of, bickering and fighting, everybody's getting a little bit of something rather than one getting nothing. And I wasn't here with the original discussions and stuff, but at this present point in time, to me, it seems like it'd be the right thing to do.
There's nothing urgent there, right? I mean, we're paying this off at over $20,000 a year as it is, correct?
$2,000 a month times 12 months, that's 24,000. Simple math.
I mean, it's making good progress. I hesitate to, I mean, the board volunteers their time, whether it's that board or any other board. I hate to go against their wishes, but I don't see anything in paper in front of me here. This is what we decided.
And it's coming from a recommendation board, it's just like any other board, we take the matter under advisement,
You can do whatever, all three items are important, don't get me wrong. But I think the Park and Rec went through a lot to get this going to begin with, and that's why the land was sold. Probably still be sitting there if we didn't, the idea wasn't generated back then.
Well, that's a question I have. Can that be, is that definitive?
It is.
The land would not have been sold.
Well, it's
What for?
probably,
Okay.
probably. So it wasn't, like that land was sold for putting a new website in for a comp plan, It was generated at that time. It took a long time to get to this point. I suppose Parks and Rec thought it was gonna get there sooner and just weren't on top of it in time, and did bring it up a few times. We didn't know how much land was gonna sell even. If it would be 49,000, we were hoping for the best. I think Parks and Rec would just be nice to see that some of it went in that direction. So that's my thoughts. That's probably where I'm gonna vote. I would be in favor of splitting it up. And going, it's only good 3 ways.
Would I make that a motion that we divide it equally between our three concerns?
I'll second it.
So before we go there, we're gonna have to remember, if we plan on doing the other projects, where we're gonna come up with the money.
Sell more land.
That would work.
Well, we put it in the budget.
We don't sell a lot of land, because we gotta divide it 3 ways.
Would have been nice if this would have been in the budget.
Part of the comprehensive plan doesn't even need to be paid for until 2017,
Small portion.
about that much.
Well, we're borrowing internally to carry the zoo debt anyway. Why can't we do that with the comp plan and the website and then budget for it next year?
I think we can, but a deficit spending's typically not
Good practice.
a plan.
Yeah, no, I would, it would likely be that staff at some point could amend the budget during the year, seeing if in some other areas we could reduce expenses and then reallocate funds. So it wouldn't be something that would be deficit spending, it would just be reallocation of money from one priority to another.
It'd be like if a truck, one of our trucks, city trucks, just totally destroyed.
A budget's a planning document. It's not something that's set in stone that we have to, or that can't possibly be changed under circumstances. So we present something that would reflect priorities and wishes of the council.
So that'd be roughly 16,000 apiece, if you went 3 ways.
16,666, 66. Well, that's not 50.
Plus or minus.
Yeah.
5, 17, 30.
Any other suggestions? Lauren, you're kind of quiet down there.
I have a tendency to agree with Jerry. I think he made a very valid point that I think we should consider. So whether it's the 19, 20, and 10, or 16, 16, and 16, I would be okay with either one of them. But is there a motion on the floor?
Yes, there is.
Motion to split or 3. 16, 16, 16.
Split it 3 ways. I would support that.
Well, Mr. President, I know we've had other conversations about promises that were made, and I have a hard time with those, except in this instance, when the entire park board is saying that they believe that it was implied that it was going to be spent that way. And we have a lot of great volunteers in this community, and I wouldn't want to dissuade any from volunteering, so I will be voting in favor of the motion. It's not perfect, but if it's agreeable to, we've got one of the guys from the park board making recommendation and another one thinking that it would be acceptable, so at least we're making a commitment. And I also talked with the zoo director about possible strategy to get the carnivore house or whatever it's called. Potential carnival house. Well, we had a different name for it, that was worse than that one, so we'll stick with carnival.
So I got a motion by Hercock and Knopfler, second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Amend position description for the golf course. Rick?
Mr. President, in front of you we have the job descriptions for the cook, the clubhouse attendant, the groundskeeper, and the pro shop / bartender positions. Our new golf course manager, Rich Fry, and I had taken a look at the job descriptions, kind of went over those to see how he sees the staffing out at the golf course in the upcoming years. And one of the things we wanted to look at is trying to get some of the younger individuals to work there, so we can try to get a little bit longer time frame when they'd be able to work. If we get them started at 16, maybe they'll come back at 17, 18, and 19, and maybe a little bit longer. So we looked at which jobs we could potentially have those younger individuals work out there. And so that's reflected in the job descriptions. Some of them we still have the 18-year-olds, in terms of serving alcohol and such, as well as using equipment. But the younger individuals, the 16-year-olds, we like to be able to get them out there cleaning sand traps, filling divots, putting carts back and forth, that type of stuff. So in front of you, we have the 4 new job descriptions. We have approval on those tonight. And if possible, we'd also like to authorize advertising for those positions so that this summer we can get those positions filled.
What's the wish of the council?
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Got a motion by Mayor Zilka, second by Councilman Liljegren. To approve the amended job descriptions and post positions. Is that correct?
Correct.
Any other discussion?
Just, are we confident that there's gonna be enough for 16-year-olds to do out there?
Yes. Yeah. It won't be a full-time job by any means, but right at
I mean, they can't drive the vehicles. And what is it? They can't operate stuff with a blade on it?
correct.
So they can't mow grass, which is one of the bigger jobs out there, right?
It's my understanding the fairway mowers they can, but down with like the real mowers they can't, which have to open blades.
Okay, all right.
Any other discussion?
Do I see any food safety license other than the forest manager?
The forest manager has one, and I believe the cook has one as well.
I don't believe it's a requirement of the job description for the cook, but they do.
They'd have
They do have that, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Any reports?
I did go to the League of Minnesota Cities. I'll send a report to all of you. I have a lot of notes. I'll try to cut it down a bit.
Just remind one thing, when you do send that it's don't reply all to those messages. It's just, you send the message.
Send it, whatever, yeah.
and reply.
Is there like a public, I can just hit public and it goes to everybody, or?
We may have to set you up with or set up like the council group,
Okay,
just when you send an email. But otherwise we can do that. We should, a lot of times at the signature line, there's the repeated at the bottom that this information is open to data privacy act, so keep that in mind when corresponding.
Anyone else? Hearing none, at 8:12, we will adjourn.